Welcome back to another episode of the Badass Lifter podcast. In this episode, I want to show you that workouts don't have to be long to be effective, and that if you want to be a strong lifter, but you don't have a lot of time during the week, I want to show you that workouts can be effective 30 minutes at a time, twice a week, and they can still make you a strong lifter. And I'm going to show examples and give you kind of workouts here so that it's not just theoretical, that you'll actually have workouts at the end of this episode that you can use and try for yourself. Yeah, let's talk about how to make workouts effective and short in general. There's kind of like three things that we're going to use to make these workouts really like quality over quantity. So one is going to be compound movements. So these are movements that, sorry, typo over there. These are movements that use multiple muscle groups at once. If you choose exercises that only train one muscle group at a time, it just takes longer. And if your goal is to become stronger and you don't have a lot of time, compound movements are going to be the best thing that you can do. I will add like an important caveat to that barbell exercises can take up a lot of time because they require a lot of warm-up and they can also require a lot of setup. So most compound movements are going to be beneficial for this, but a lot of barbell movements don't make sense for a workout where you don't have a lot of time. Something to keep in mind during, but generally speaking, compound movements are good. Second one is a quick setup. So we want exercises that you could just get started right away, maybe 1 to 2 warm-up sets, and then just immediately go into it. There are some exercises that require like a unique cable setup, or an example of this is like heavy deadlifting, where you gotta reset up the plates each time. There's a lot of warm-ups that exist there. You gotta get a squat rack or a deadlift platform. They just take more time, and so we're gonna be picking exercises that don't require a lot of equipment and also are very easy to set up. An example of this could be a lot of like dumbbell movements. So things like a dumbbell row. Again, you use a dumbbell, get started, super quick setup, not a lot of equipment needed. So if you're in the gym, you just got to find the dumbbell that's the right weight for you, and then keep going. So dumbbells are going to be really beneficial for quick setups. It doesn't have to be dumbbells, but you're going to notice that is kind of a trend throughout these workouts that we're making later. Third one is supersets. So supersets are where you do one exercise immediately after the other before taking your rest break. This is totally fine. If you're trying to have a quick, effective workout but still become stronger, you can use supersets. The important thing to keep in mind, though, that some people will miss is that you want to superset exercises that use different muscle groups. So as an example, I would never superset a goblet squat with a leg press because the muscles used in that is very, very similar. I would, however, do something like a dumbbell bench press and then immediately into a dumbbell row, because the first exercise predominantly uses triceps and chest. The second exercise uses mostly back and biceps. And so you can do those one after the other, and it ends up working out and you can still have an effective workout. So that's something to keep in mind, is that when you're supersetting, use exercises that use different muscle groups. Now, I want to provide like 3 workout examples on what this could actually look like. So let's just do a lower body day. This is going to be one that you can do at home as well. So if you don't have a ton of equipment, that's totally fine. This is going to be something that you can do at home. First exercise would be something like a goblet squat. We can do 3 sets of 8. Second exercise is going to be a dumbbell Romanian, I can't spell today, dumbbell Romanian deadlift. If you're listening on the podcast, I'm also like typing this out on YouTube. Everyone gets to see my spelling mistakes. So dumbbell Romanian deadlift, 3 sets of 10. Next exercise is going to be something like walking lunges, 3 sets of 10 on each side. Fourth is going to be single leg hip thrust. Let's do 3 sets of 10 on each side. So here's 4 exercises. Definitely make you stronger. I think this would be like a good beginner/advanced beginner exercises that you could do. We're covering most of the lower body muscle groups here. We're doing different movement patterns. And again, I don't believe that this would take very long, and you could do this with just dumbbells at home. You don't even need, you might need a bench for the single leg hip thrust, or you could use like your couch or something like that, and go through there. If you wanted to make this even faster, I believe you could superset like the last two exercises. Maybe not, you might be able to superset the first two as well. There is some overlap with training the glutes, but you might be able to get away with it, especially if you're new to lifting. And this is an exercise program that you could do as is. Lower body training, these are all really helpful movements to become stronger. Can't take more than 30 minutes. So save that one for yourself. We got goblet squat, 3 sets of 8, dumbbell Romanian deadlift, 3 sets of 10, walking lunges, 3 sets of 10 per side, and single leg hip thrust, 3 sets of 10 per side. Now, one thing that can also save time is picking exercises that don't work one side. So as an example, walking lunges, it's 10 per side, right? Like not 10. If you want to make this even faster, you would find exercises that train both sides at the same time, like a goblet squat. You might switch the single leg hip thrust to a regular hip thrust. Could be like kind of like a weighted hip thrust as kind of an example. Instead of doing 3 sets of 10 per side, you could do 3 sets of 10. Okay, lower body day 1, done. Now, what if you want to train upper body? Great question. Day 2. So I'm going to give you an example here. First exercise, incline dumbbell press. 3 sets of 8. 3-point chest supported dumbbell row. 3 sets of 8. This uses a bench, but both at an incline, so you can just use the same bench, and you don't even have to reset up the bench. You can just go right into it as an example. Incline dumbbell press, we could probably add, I'm going to add like a dumbbell fly here as well. So now you're bringing the bench back to flat. 3 sets of 10 per side. Let's do 12. 3 sets of 12, lowering the weight as low as comfortable. And we could probably do like a 4th exercise here as well. I'm going to say like a lat pull down. I think this is, and you know, different variations would work here. 3 sets of 12 as well. So you're getting a horizontal pull, you're getting a vertical pull, you're getting 2 press exercises, one at an incline, which trains shoulders and chest, and then one that's a dumbbell fly. That one is more of an isolation exercise, but you have enough covered here that like you're not missing too much. And again, you can combine these exercises. So incline dumbbell press and chest supported dumbbell row, one trains triceps, chest, front shoulder. The other one trains back and biceps. So no problem moving those one after the other. You're getting most of the upper body here. Great exercise as well. What about full body? So if you train twice a week only, I usually recommend doing 2 full body days, because if you only train a muscle group once a week, it's hard to progress on that muscle group. So 2 full body days, if you're only training twice a week, in my opinion, makes the most sense. And so can it still be done? Can we still do 30 minutes full body? And the answer is yes. So I'm going to use an exercise we just used in day 2, incline dumbbell press. And I really like an incline dumbbell press for quick, effective workouts because it covers both shoulder and chest very well, and triceps. We're going to put that exercise in there, but also I'm going to put dumbbell Romanian deadlift. Let's do a different Romanian deadlift. So, split stance, dumbbell Romanian deadlift as the first exercise, and then we're going to do like a dumbbell front squat as the next exercise. And we can probably make most of these 3 sets of 8. Rep ranges is going to depending on what part of the program you're in. So I'm keeping it simple with like sets of 8 right now, but these could be 6, 10, 12, 15, depending on like what works best for you and your goals and where you are in your training. So split stance, dumbbell Romanian deadlift, 3 sets of 8, dumbbell front squat, 3 sets of 8. You're covering quads, hamstrings, like you're covering a huge amount of the glutes, you're covering a huge amount of the legs just on those 2 exercises. You could be done there for legs, truly. Incline dumbbell press, 3 sets of 8, and then if you don't want to do dumbbells, let's say you're in the gym, we could do something like a, I'm going to say a pull-up. You know what? I'm going to try and make this as fast as possible. So we're going to make this underhand lat pull down. So covering back, biceps, triceps, whole exercises here. You're getting everything covered. Um, yeah, again, 4 exercises, totally fine. I think if you wanted to add something else here, you could add another horizontal pull exercise, or maybe you could add push-ups. That's kind of an example. Push-ups, very easy to set up. You have the ground. If you're not strong enough for push-ups yet, you could do something like a Smith machine push-up, where as you adjust the height of the push-up, it becomes easier. The higher the incline, the better. Look up the video. If you want a video, absolutely let me know, and I can send you a link to one. But you could add that as a 5th exercise as well. These are not very long. These are not very long workouts, but they are effective. These are all exercises that work really well to make people stronger. They're very easy setups. None of these are going to take super long. If you wanted to go even farther, I would switch some of the single leg exercises to double leg, so split stance, dumbbell Romanian deadlift, just to a regular dumbbell Romanian deadlift as kind of an example. But these are not exercises that take a super long time, and you can superset with them. So these are easily 25, 30-minute exercises. Now, if you want to add warm-up in that, we definitely can. For time's sake, I think the best thing to do would be probably like 1 to 2 lighter sets of the exercises you're already doing. So if you're, we've used incline dumbbell press twice here. So as an example, your warm up for that would be 1 to 2 lighter sets before you get into the main weight that you're using. So let's say you're using 40 pounds, you would start off with like maybe 10 to warm up, do 25, and then go into 40. Instead of arranging a whole other warm up situation going on, just use what you're already going to set up and then do lighter sets, and that will properly warm you up for the exercises. I hope this showed that you don't necessarily need to have super long workouts to be effective, and that if you only want to train 2 or 3 times a week for 30 minutes, these are examples of training that is going to make you stronger. It's going to cover the full body, so you're not neglecting any muscle group. And you just don't have to live in the gym, which I think, if you have time to do hour and a half workouts, that's awesome. But not everyone does, and they should also be able to become strong, confident lifters. Let me know your thoughts, but thanks for listening to another episode of the Badass Lifter Podcast.